नमः। ॐ गुरवे नमः। ॐ गुरवे नमः. Hello everybody, and I thought of making a video on Guru Purnima, and it is much more easier for me to actually do a video and do it the way through which I do. And the concept becomes much more easier. The students are able to understand it much more easier, and more importantly, then when you read the article or attend the webinar, it becomes much more easier for me to connect to you and comprehend the concepts and take it forward. Okay, now lot of people, lot of students actually ask me every year in terms of the concept of Guru Purnima, or why is it called Vyasa Purnima, the importance and what do they do. Generally, the gold industry and the jewelers, with every concept, they put in a concept of, buy gold. It's superb on that day, right? And I've got no problems. They're making money, but it is much more than that, right? Everything can't be associated just with buying of gold. And the concept of Guru Purnima is more driving internal than driving external. Okay, and that is something which we will discuss today. I've made a small sort of a presentation, just 4 or 5 slides, and just wanted to give you the concept of Guru Purnima. Okay, and what we are going to discuss today is only these 3 points. Okay, the concept of Guru or Vyasa Purnima, its importance, and some things that you can do on that day, or you can start doing from that day, right? And especially during this lockdown, during this COVID period, everybody is under huge stress. Everybody wants to know what's going to happen tomorrow. Everybody is talking about a parallel income or a passive income, or developing a talent or a new talent or new skill, new learning. So maybe this presentation can actually help you into a direction which can help you develop a new skill as well. Okay. Now, first and foremost, I wanted to drill down in terms of the concept of Guru Purnima or Vyasa Purnima firstly. Okay. So the word Guru, which is very loosely translated sometimes, has a very higher meaning, right? The concept of Guru comes from two words, which is a Sanskrit word called Gu plus Ru. And Gu means technically means darkness, and Ru means eliminating, or the one who is going to eliminate the, or the removing of the darkness, so to say. And when you combine the two words Guru, it technically means the person who is going to remove your ignorance or darkness. Technically, somebody who is going to fight the Rahu inside you and give you the beautiful sort of a concept of your developing your inner self, developing your inner light. And that is something which is a beautiful sort of a concept which is going to be developed as far as Guru Purnima is concerned. Okay, so Guru as a concept means the one who is going to help eliminate the Rahu inside you, be it in your mind, be it in your body, or be it in terms of your thought process, right? We all have a very negative mindset as well, which leads you to suicide, which leads us to depression, which leads us to jealousy, which leads up to doing a karma which on an ideal scenario we never wanted to do, and then we tend to justify it, right? So Guru is the one who is going to help you go towards the light and take you out of the darkness. I had heard of the concept of Guru in a Vedic term, which means Samayam Bhranti Bhanjanam, which means that somebody who is going to, ensure that whatever your ignorance or whatever your confusion in your mind is, somebody who is going to get you out of it. That's the Guru. Okay, now in today's time, frankly speaking, we don't need to make that whole concept of Guru as somebody who is wearing orange clothes or having a particular tika or wearing probably 10 gemstones on the hand, and somebody who is sort of filling that aruda or that image of a guru, right? Sometimes very simple people can actually be a guru material, so to say, right? Because they have an ability to show something very, very big in life. For example, I always feel that a gentleman like Ratan Tata, who is such a rich individual, he has got everything with himself, but the amount of donation he does, the amount of simple living, high thinking that he performs is something that he teaches us a lot. And to that level, from that perspective, I really look up to him in terms of how to stay grounded, even after the amount of success or being the top guy at the Tatas, being the one who owns the topmost agencies of the cars and manufacturing, whatnot. But yet, very down to earth, right? So, to that extent, when it comes to the living, the concept of simple living, high thinking is something that I resonate a lot with Ratan Tata. So, what am I saying? I'm telling you that there can be multiple gurus. You don't need to stop at one because it is not possible for a single human being to know everything. The concept of Adi Shankara is very tough to find in today's time, where one individual will have so much of knowledge that he is going to be able to impart everything. It's impossible, right? Uh, Also, we need to understand that the Guru Purnima was the day, or this particular combination, which I'll talk about in the next slide, is the day when Lord Shiva became the Adi Guru or the Adi Shankara. Okay, so he was given that position of being the first guru or the highest guru, and hence he is called as the Parmeshti Guru. People from the lineage know the various levels, right? Om Guru Nama, Om Param Guru Nama, Om Paratpara Guru Nama, and the highest one is the Parmeshti Guru, and that is Mahadev. You might call him Dakshinamurti, Dattatreya, or any other form of Shiva, but the form that is the highest is the Parmeshti Guru, which is the one who is the giver of knowledge, right? So we need to understand, and this is a point which a lot of people don't know, that this was also the day which is associated with Mahadev. And this is the day when he later on started teaching to the Saptarishis. And that's where the whole concept of lineage and parampara also started. It is also the birthday of Vedavyasa, and commonly we all celebrate it as the birthday of Vedavyasa, the giver of the Vedas and 18 Puranas. So directly or indirectly, Maharishi Vedavyasa, or we can actually call him as a god actually, right? Because he is an avatara. Without him being an avatara, it is impossible to do so much in a short time. Okay, and it is Vedavyasa who is the giver of all the knowledge, or literally translating the intelligence or the intellect that was passed by Mahadev and then later on passing it to generations like you and me, right? So a simple mantra like Om Gurave Namah is something that we started with just to ensure that light of Guru is always going to bless us. Okay, and generally it is in the Shukla Paksha in the month of June, July. This is all the Panchanga technically. What is the Panchang that is going to be there? And this year it is on July 5th. Okay, so July 5th is going to be Guru Purnima, and I'll tell you why it is Guru Purnima as well. And generally it is, and not generally, but always it is associated with the sign Gemini and Sagittarius. Okay, and it has to be full moon. So the criteria is that it has to be the Shukla Paksh, which is the bright half. It has to be the full moon in that axis of Gemini and Sagittarius. And why? We'll be talking in the next slide. Okay, now this is a chart I've made for Dubai, and 6 a.m. on July 5th. Okay, now here we see that this is Purnima, right? Everybody knows how to see a Panchanga. Sun is seventh from the moon, or moon is seventh from the sun, and that is the highest sort of a light which is being given, and this is called as Purnima. The criteria for Purnima is that sun and moon will be 1/7 from each other. You see, every Purnima, the sun and the moon will always be 1 and 7 from each other. Okay, this is one thing which is very important. Now, Guru Purnima has got special importance with the sign Sagittarius and the sign Gemini. Now, you know that the natural Gemini and Sagittarius are in the third and ninth axis, right? The third house is also associated with our ears. Our learning skills are associated with third and the 11th house. The third house is also associated with our arms, the writing part of it. Hence, when Gurudev is talking or when the Guru is talking, generally we tend to take notes. Hence, the third house or the Mercury part of it is very, very activated. Whereas Guru is in the ninth house. And Guru in the ninth house of Sagittarius is said to be the best placement because Guru in Lagna is superb, but Jupiter in Sagittarius is the best placement purely because it is in office, it is its Mula Trikona. And when a planet is in Mula Trikona, it is really, really very professionally best because it is not casual. It is just in that mode where it is in its best because it's in its office. So whatever work it does, it is going to be doing the best when it is in its Mula Trikona rather than exaltation. Exaltation is something which is still very unstable, right? It is a peak, but you know that there is a lot of insecurity and there is a lot of little bit of discomfort associated with exaltation as well. But when it comes to Mula Trikona, it is Jupiter, it is best. And this is the debate which is happening in the sign Gemini and Sagittarius, and it is between that Mercury, which is the student or the Shishya, and Jupiter, which is Guru, forming that yoga, which is called as Guru Shishya Yoga. And hence Jupiter and Mercury together form a yoga which is Guru Shishya Yoga, also Gita Yoga, and many beautiful yogas. Right? So now we know and we have established the concept or the importance of why Guru Purnima has to be there when these two signs are activated. Now what's happening in today's, in this time's Guru Purnima, which is on 5th of July, is that Ketu is also there in Sagittarius, apart from Moon obviously. And to that extent, this yoga of Jupiter and Ketu is called as a Parampara Yoga. And Jupiter has retrograded back, right? It is coming back from its debility to Sagittarius. So to that level, this is a yoga, which is a beautiful yoga, Jupiter and Ketu. It is called as Parampara Yoga. Jupiter and Moon together is also a beautiful yoga called as Gajakeshri Yoga. And there are many other yogas which are being formed as well. Buddhatitya Yoga and many other yogas are there. So this particular Guru Purnima is very, very brilliant because it is also under the eclipse of Moon, right? So we all know that there is also a solar eclipse which is happening, as a result of which Moon is something that we all need to control, and it would be a fantastic day if we start learning today. Anything that you ever wanted to learn, anything that you wanted to so badly sort of acquire as a skill set, or wanted to start a parallel sort of a learning process, so later on it can be a passive income, etc., then definitely this is the phase when you need to start learning. Okay, so I think you have got the basic gist of it. 5th of July is the time when the morning Tithi is a Purnima Tithi. Hence, it is so important to celebrate Guru Purnima on 5th of July. Generally, the morning Tithi becomes very important. Okay, so let's say ideally you can take 6 a.m. as a sunrise time, and whichever Tithi is on that particular day, then you usually take that Tithi for the whole day. Except for certain rules like Muhurta, etc., when you take the Tithi at that particular time in which you are starting an operation. But that's a different concept altogether. For Guru Purnima and generally to judge, let's say Ekadashi, etc., then you can take the morning Tithi at 6 a.m. and take that Tithi as the overall tithi of the day. Okay, I hope it's clear. Now, some of the helpful tips in terms of what to do. Okay, now it is very important to understand that there is an internal guru and an external guru, and we need to thank them both. The internal guru is your Atmakaraka, who is going to constantly push you and give you the light which is so required to do good karmas. By now, most of you understand that, hey, it's all internal. The external manifestation happens when there is a drive internally. They always say that, when you are ready for a guru, the guru appears. It is not the reverse. So more often than not, it is the Shishya who is going to choose the guru rather than the guru choosing the Shishya. And it has been proved right over and over again, right up from Bhagavad Gita and right through many more Puranas. So the whole process is that, hey, first start the process internally. Start the Atmakaraka, start your internal cleaning. Start thanking your internal thought process for the beautiful thoughts that are given to you, as a result of which you are pursuing Jyotish, or today you are listening to the video. And most of you must be very spiritual people for you to be inclined to even be attracted towards Vedic astrology. So that is very important. Then thank your external guru. Now, external guru, again, I'm saying, need not be somebody with a tika and 10 sort of gemstones and wearing orange clothes, etc. Your boss can be your guru as well. It is your ninth house. And a good boss is your greatest blessing, because very few are lucky to have good bosses. Bosses who actually teach you, who send you for trainings, who allow you to do things that you want to do. Ninth house is also associated with your parents, more importantly, your father. And father, to that extent, is your guru as well, because he is generally tough, but he teaches you a lot. Your first guru, obviously, is your mother, who teaches you how to walk, right? So, since then, we have had multiple gurus, right from our school, different math teacher, geography teacher, and Sanskrit teacher, then somebody teaches you Jyotisha. So what does it mean? It means that there will be multiple gurus, and you need to respect them all, and you need to make multiple gurus and respect them all, because each one will have their strengths, each one will have their weaknesses, and to compare them with Vedavyasa or the topmost gurus is a waste of time, frankly. You will not go get gurus like them. But with whatever gurus are there, you can still thank them, right? Start learning. We already discussed that there is an eclipse and there is this Parampara yoga over there. There is a Buddhaditya yoga, and many, many good yogas are happening on that particular day. And that is precisely the reason why I'm going to start my Jyotish course also on that day, right? So you can definitely learn. And if you want to learn basics, advanced basics, definitely you are most welcome to join the course as well. It will be starting from Guru Purnima, the bonus week, and then later on from 16th of August. Okay. Last but not the least, start thinking. See, sometimes in difficult time, people stop thinking, or they think only negative. Rahu and Saturn completely capture their mind, and they become pessimistic. Slowly but surely, they start getting into depression, suicidal mentalities, negative thoughts. We need to get rid of that. And that can only happen with the mantras and meditation. So mantras and meditation is something which has to be part of your day-to-day life. Music has to be part of your day-to-day life. Singing or chanting of mantras has to be part of your day-to-day life. I gave you a simple mantra, Om Gurave Namah, and here I've given you a mantra which is my favorite, which is the Brihaspati Gayatri. And it goes like Vrishabham Charshaninam Vishwarupamadabhyam Brahaspatim Varenyam. Okay, so I'm not a Sanskrit expert, but I hope I've pronounced it pretty okay, right? But you can do a cross check. But this is one mantra which frankly has given me great results, in learning Jyotish, generally learning and being a good student myself. And being a good student is a prerequisite to be a good guru as well. Okay, so this is something, these three are the basic tips that I will give you. Now, most of you are aware about it that the course is starting on Guru Purnima. 50 early bird are there. I think we are almost there. So the price will change and they will increase. So if you need an urgent sort of a link to pay, etc., or details, then the help desk will surely help you. Huh? The bonus week is going to start from 5th of July, which is Guru Purnima. The whole week will be there. So there will be typically 6 classes in a week. Just one day holiday for you to sort of catch back your breath. Yeah. So the bonus week will start from 5th of July. And then again, we will be restarting from 16th of August. And that will be 3 weeks continuously. But the prices will increase post that. Okay. So I do suggest that go to my website or you may WhatsApp this number and you will get all the details. Okay. So I wish you all a great Guru Purnima. It's a wonderful day. Just stay positive in a negative situation. Negative situations will not stay. Positive people will surely stay. Right. And big money is made in a bad economy. Be the disruptor, be the positive mindset, and I'm sure that good things will happen. Good things always happen to good people, and more importantly, you need to plan your way, right? So use that day for planning, use that day for meditation, use that day for having positive people around you, and make sure that you promise to yourself that you won't give up, right? With this I'll end. Thank you. Namah Shivaya.